This is Diana Sullivan in Austin, Texas. Today's little cable is only 4 stitches, but it's quite fancy. It's a braid over 4 stitches. You can braid or weave over as many stitches as you want. This is another cable done with only single stitch transfers. I'm doing a 4-stitch cable, but I'm only using 1x1 transfer tools. This is a little braided cable, or maybe I should say a very small woven cable. I am moving needle number 1 right, that stitch goes over to the needle number 2 right, and then I'm taking a stitch that was on the right and putting it on number 1 right. I've marked the 4 needles I'm using. They are just 1 and 2 on each side of 0. I'm going to do the same thing on the left, and I'm putting the left needles down first. And then I'm going to knit 3 rows. You get to pick how many rows you knit. And now I'm going to do a transfer on the 2 middle stitches only. And this time I'm going to put the right stitch down first. Then the left stitch. And then I'll knit 3 rows. Now I'm going to repeat those 2 things to make this cable. So this time around, the 2 twists are done, needles number 1 and 2 on the right, with the left stitch going down first, and the other twist is needles number 1 and 2 on the left, with the left stitch going down first. Knit my 3 rows, and then I'm going to do the 2 middle stitches only again. Knit my 3 rows. I'm going to do this a couple more times. After every so often, I need to latch up a stitch on either side, so I'm going to do that. This will be the needle just outside that 4-stitch design. So this one and this one, and I'm going to put my latch tool way down at the bottom of the design, run the knitting with my fingers, and then latch up. Need to do the same thing over on this side. I like to do that every so often as I go. I'm going to put a couple more repeats on before I finish this up. Here's my finished cable, and if you look closely you can see, for instance, that this column of stitches goes over, then under, then over, then it turns, goes under, over, under. So sometimes people call these a woven cable, sometimes a braided cable. I like to think of this as a braided cable. Now you can vary this. You could have groups of 2 stitches that you move. You can also move more often or less often, and you'll get a different effect.